Hello and welcome to this week's edition of It's Your Call. We'll have a look at some of the umpiring decisions from the previous round. Only one round of football to go, and as I do every Tuesday afternoon, great to have the umpires manager alongside of me, Jeff Geesham. Welcome, Geesh.
Hi, Wayne.
Another busy week. I think I asked you a couple of weeks ago, when do we announce the umpires for the final series?
Yeah, next Monday night. So last round this week, and we'll get all our rankings up to date over the weekend, and next Monday night at training we'll announce the panel.
Tough job?
It is a tough job because they all aspire to it and they're all really keen to try and get finals, so there'll be some disappointed boys.
All right, well, we do encourage you to continue to keep getting involved in the show at AFL hashtag Your Call. I know that a lot of people are sending in their nominations for discussion, but we can only pick out 2 each week, and we do our best to share that around right across the Twitter sphere. So send them through at AFL hashtag It's Your Call, I should say. Let's jump into the first decision from the round of football, and it's a blocking free kick against the Kangaroos, but then Michael Ferretto just had a brain snap.
Yeah, Scotty Jeffrey involved in this situation. He paid a fantastic blocking free. You can see that there, just bumps a player the way. Fredo takes the mark. Now he's obliged to give the ball directly back to his opponent, but instead of giving it directly back, he pitches it high in the air, creates a long delay. The ball takes a long time to get down, and it should have been a 50-metre penalty. All
right, the next one we'll have a look at is the West Coast Eagles doing a good job on Collingwood just before quarter time. Was it a mark or wasn't not?
Well, you're sitting at home watching it and your heart's in your mouth. You're not quite sure whether the umpire's made the right call, but you hear the replays and you see what happens after and you just go, it's a really good call based around, had he not heard it, we've got a shot on goal. And we can see the siren goes now, the ball's just about in the vicinity, and it was a really good call by Jordan Bannister.
All right, we've had a number of score reviews that we've looked at across the course of the year, but I'm not completely convinced that this is what it was introduced for.
Yeah, no, you're right, Wayne. We can see the ball go down near the behind post there, punched out of bounds. See the boundary umpire actually indicate out on the full. One of the other umpires thought, no, it wasn't out on the full, it was touched. And another umpire in the middle of the ground thought it hit the post. So we had 3 or 4 different umpires all thinking they saw a different thing. They asked for a score review, but that's not what the score review is about. This is a boundary umpire decision. But I think because the post came into play, the umpires thought we'll ask for a score review. So technically they got the right score and a throw-in resulted, but technically we're not obliged to call for boundary decisions.
So in the event that that may happen again, how should that play out?
Well, I think at the end of the day, common sense prevailed there. Once it came upstairs, common sense prevailed and our people upstairs gave the correct score. But probably we'd ask the umpires not to bother going to the score review for out-of-bounds decisions.
But if they're still not sure, what happens?
If they're not sure, then they consult. And if they're still not sure after that, they go to the lesser call. And in this case, it would have been a throw-in rather than a kick-in.
All right, at AFL hashtag Your Call, and we get plenty of nominations from our female fans right across the country, and the first one's from Elaine. And I think that this is the one that really lit up Twitter across the course of the weekend.
Yes, we can see this decision here, and unfortunately for the umpires, we've made a mistake here. Puopolo takes the ball. You can see he's got an arm free there, gets spun around. The 360 is not so much the issue, it was the amount of time and opportunity that he had to dispose of the ball, and it was clearly felt Puopolo had time and opportunity to try and make an attempt or to hit the ball out. He didn't do that. Whistle doesn't go. He now tries to stand up, and then Ryan O'Keefe comes in and gets him high with his knee, and that's what the umpire paid it for. But our opinion is, our assessment is that he should have been awarded a free kick against Puopolo earlier for not disposing of the ball in a proper, reasonable time situation.
Question without notice. You've obviously had a chance to talk to the umpire that was involved in that situation. Correct. What was his explanation with regards to the decision or not to call the decision? Yeah,
he was terrific about it. He was about to pay holding the ball, and he held his whistle. We train him to hold the whistle, wait for the tackle to unfold, but that first tackle had actually unfolded. When he didn't blow his whistle and then O'Keefe came in, he then saw that high contact. So he was aware, look, I was going to pay holding the ball. We want to try and protect the ball play, saw the high contact, paid it for that, but quite preferably, we would have preferred that he had paid holding the ball to start with.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that explanation. Same game, close margin. Hawthorn win by 7 points. In this one, if the Puopolo one dominated discussion, then Ben's nomination as well left a lot of Sydney Swans supporters bemused and frustrated and quite angry.
Yeah, this is a disappointing result based around the fact that coaches have been drilling into our umpires about the fact that if they give a double whistle, That is, they've blown the whistle for the free kick and then they blow their whistle again to indicate, stop, we've paid a free kick, and then play continues, we should pay a 50 metre. We can see Dean Margette's actually there screaming out and telling Burgoyne not to continue, but he ignored that, continued. Clearly should have paid a 50 metre penalty for delaying the play by continuing play when a free kick had been awarded.
So again, umpire's explanation as to why that wasn't 50 metres at the time?
We actually heard Dino over the matchcom there say that there was a lot of crowd noise. He was screaming, he'd blown his whistle, Burgoyne seemed to have no indication of free kick. He thought common sense with the crowd noise and what have you, that tightness of the game, it was common sense not to pay it. But our coaches have given clear instruction when you've blown your whistle twice, when you're screaming at the player to stop, and they seem to ignore that, we should be paying 50. Dean thought he was using common sense, but it is a clear instruction that when they play on like that after they've been whistled up twice and when they've been yelled at twice to stop, that we should be paying 50.
Yeah, good win by the Hawks, but perhaps it was a fraction lucky as well. Final one, the one that I'd like you to talk about. We had the incident with Lindsay Thomas and Gary Rowan. We almost had it again with Lindsay Thomas, this time Adam McPhee.
Yeah, it's an amazing set of circumstances here. Lindsay Thomas, as we all know, had the unfortunate accident with Gary Rowan. And in this case, we can see McPhee just throw himself at the ball. Thomas is virtually still, and in fact, Thomas tries to jump over McPhee as he comes towards him. So Thomas has done nothing wrong here. Adam McPhee's head clips Thomas's knee on the way through and virtually, stuns him. So we've paid the free kick for high contact, but I think everybody who sees that knows... He's
initiated the contact.
Correct.
That's careless and reckless.
Correct. All the contact was caused by Adam propelling himself at Lindsay Thomas. So our umpire knows now that that was an unwarranted free kick because all that contact was drawn by Adam McPhee.
We had a situation, as I said before, Gary Rowan broke his leg out for the year involving Lindsay Thomas, and there were people prepared to line up Lindsay and say he should have been suspended for that.
Yeah.
The AFL came out and they made a fairly strong statement with the reinforcement of that interpretation to make sure players didn't lead in with their knees or their head or that type of thing. Scotty Pendlebury came out and wrote a fairly open letter to all of his players. And I think we've done a really good job as a sport to make sure that didn't happen. That's careless by Adam McPhee. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I certainly do. That is careless, it's reckless, and I think that he puts himself in danger. He accepts the responsibility. And we're also lucky that we're not sitting here saying that Lindsay Thomas is going to miss the rest of the year because he's got a similar break in his leg to what Gary Rowan had. We can't have that in the game.
Yeah, that's a fair comment, particularly, what could have happened to Lindsay Thomas, but also what could have happened to Adam McPhee. And I think we try to discourage players from leading with their heads like that. It is very dangerous, and we're just so pleased that Adam wasn't more seriously hurt. And I guess where we're a bit disappointed is our umpire rewarded Adam for that behaviour when in actual fact he should have called play. And it looked very harsh because he's been stunned, but Adam drew all that high contact himself.
Kids, that's not the way to go about it. You'll get protected. Just don't think you've got to lead with your head. Always appreciate you coming in, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks to you. Don't forget, get involved at AFL. #YourCall. Congratulations to Charnel Pepper of Yarrawa in New South Wales and Marlene Tam of Balwyn here in Victoria, winners of last week's Quit Now reserve seat tickets for your chance to win a double reserve seat pass to a game of your choice, as well as a 2012 Toyota AFL Grand Final Greatness Package. All you have to do is go to quitnow.gov.au and in 25 words or less, give us your best motivational speech encouraging a friend or family member to quit smoking. We'll see you next week.